Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is August the 9th, 2025. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. We're having a good Saturday so far. Haven't really done too much. We got up a little bit earlier and I was planning on being like, okay, we're gonna have a really early morning at the gym. It's gonna be nice, it's gonna be sweet. We got no laundry, no worries. But I want to say maybe about like 15, 20 minutes into being awake, I was like, I want to go back to sleep. I just want to go back to bed. I'm still tired. So I went back to sleep. I think I got up around 10, wound up going to the gym around 11, which isn't too bad. We're pretty on pace, so that's good. We love that. Gym was good to me. It was nice. We got to lift heavy, and that always feels good. So we love that. No injuries. So clap it up for that. Yay, yay, yay. And overall, the cardio was good. So, we love it all around. Outside of that, there's really not much to report on the personal news. We're just chilling right now, which feels good. It's nice. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup, and let's get into some news. All right. Our first story comes from The Hill. Owner of Trump-themed burger chain arrested by ICE, facing deportation. Roland Mirez Bieni, a co-owner of Trump Burger in Texas, is facing deportation. Bieni, a 28-year-old originally from Lebanon, entered the U.S. in 2019 with a non-immigrant visitor visa and overstayed, according to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. The restaurateur was arrested by ICE on May 16th and placed in detention. He was then granted bond by an immigration attorney on June 13th, or as his case goes through the courts, the agency stated. Roland Mirez Bieni does not have any immigration benefits that prevented his arrest or removal from the United States, an ICE spokesperson told the Hill. Trump Burger opened its third restaurant in Houston area in April, where they sell burgers with the buns branded with Trump. A fourth franchise opened in Bay City this summer. So apparently, business is doing pretty good. I think it's very funny and very corny that like MAGA heads, like Trump supporters, they really just love the brand. And the brand is literally just the fucking dude's name. And don't get me wrong, I've bought tons of Jordan brand stuff in my day, in my youth, so I get it, I guess. But like Michael Jordan played basketball. Like, what Michael Jordan was good at because you got to see it on display. You can go on ESPN, watch a fucking documentary. What the oh man, I love Trump. I love how he, manages his businesses. So I want to eat a Trump burger and I want to wear my Trump shoes and call my wife on my Trump phone. Like, brother, you're just paying all this shit for and it's bad shit. It's not even like good quality shit on top of it. I mean, granted, I can't speak to the burger franchise. And also it's funny too, because in this situation, this is literally not directly connected to Trump, right? Like, this is just a guy, which I there's the irony of like, it is an immigrant who's trying to make a living, trying to make a life off of, Trump's name. And in a way that's kind of come back to bite him. Yes, puns intended. But yeah, two other restaurants are in Belleville and Flatona, Texas. Earlier this month, Bieni told Eater that high demand for the branded burger led him to open more locations. And of course, the White House has declined to talk about the deportation. They're like, it's none of our business. Whatever. We don't really care what this guy believes or doesn't believe right now. He's just not supposed to be here. Okay? All right? Also, some things that popped off with ICE. We've talked about, a decent amount this week, but I kind of failed to mention, what was it? Dean Cain of Superman fame, the TV show, which it was so frustrating for me because I remember I was like maybe about a week or so ago talking to one of my coworkers about how when I was a kid, I really fucked with that show. Like, there was the Hercules growing up, there was the Superman show growing up. Like, that was fun live TV. And to know that both of these guys are just like conservative shill pieces of shit, it's so disheartening. It's such a bummer. And Christian conservative like shill pieces of shit on top of it. It adds a small, like a shittier layer on top of it for sure. But yeah, Dean Cain has come out saying, hey, he's coming out of retirement to join ICE. He's gonna help deport people. Yeah, that's awesome. That's so fucking great. ICE really needs you, bud. They really need the fucking shitty, washed out, lame ass fucking Superman that no one likes. Yeah, man, that's really cool. We're so happy to see you join. Also, another thing with ICE, they have blown out their age cap. Like, so in other words, like you can be as old as whatever. You can be old as dirt. You can go ahead and join ICE, brother. Yee. And then you could also be an 18-year-old with, the bussin' broccoli haircut. Awesome. That's so great. You can also deport, just deport people and put them in fucking detention holds and all kinds of fucking bullshit, man. You get to get just dressed up like you're a fucking military guy and fuck some other people up. That's so great, That's so cool. It's like it does feel like we are building our own little like SS or whatever the fuck, man. It's crazy. On top of the fucking police that we already have. It's fun times in America, that's for sure. But yeah, bummer for Trump burger, I guess. Womp womp womp. Anyway, let's move on. From Odyssey. Let's see here. Man robs Citibank in midday heist in the financial district. The NYPD on Friday released surveillance footage of a man in a Batman shirt wanted for robbing a Citibank in the financial district last month. At approximately 11:15 a.m. on Monday, July 28th, the suspect entered the bank located at 120 Broadway, then passed a note to the teller. Hidden your steps. I noticed no gun. The teller handed the unidentified individual $350. Okay, not much. Pretty light. But the suspect then fled the location on foot, traveling southbound on Broadway. There were no injuries reported as a result of the incident. Clean. I gotta say, Mr. fucking clean on that. Not to advocate bank robbery, don't go robbing banks, but we do love a heist that doesn't involve any kind of injury, any kind of death, and you didn't threaten anyone. I mean, you technically did with the note. I'm not saying like, harmless, victimless crime, whatever. But like at the end of the day, you just got some money and you got the fuck out, and it's a bank. I don't give a shit, whatever. The suspect was last seen wearing a black shirt, black shorts, and black and white sneakers. Also, once again, shout out to the Batman shirt. There's a cruel kind of irony to that as well that I love. So I mean, hey, you can call Crime Stoppers hotline at 1-800-577-TIPS. So if you want to, drop the dimes, I guess, on this smooth criminal. Okay, sorry. Anyway, kind of keeping on the theme of fucking true crime. Well, I feel like this is true crime, even though we're not talking murders. But whatever, it's crime all the same. It's true enough. Anyway, from NBC News. I was about to say Labubu burgers, which is crazy. Oh, also I would eat a Labubu burger. Labubu burglars make off with thousands of dollars worth of merchandise from LA area store. A group of burglars snatched a bunch of the summer's most sought-after toy after they broke into a Los Angeles County store overnight, the shop said on Instagram. One-stop sales in La Puente, I think it's La Puente, sure, said 4 men broke into the store and stole all of our inventory, which included a number of trendy Labubu dolls, toothy, gremlin-looking plush toys that have exploded in popularity. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department said deputies responded to the burglary in the 600 block of Glendora Avenue in La Puente, east of Los Angeles, at 1:29 a.m. Wednesday. Several boxes of Labubu dolls were stolen, valued at approximately $7,000. The Sheriff's Department said in a statement. See, they say several boxes, and I'm assuming they mean several individual boxes, but sometimes you order the boxes in cases, which then, is making it more money. Also, it depends on, how they got them in terms of, did they buy a certain, like, did they buy just the retail price? Because individually it's like $30, but if you're buying a resold one, it can go up to anywhere from 50 to, I mean, damn, $500, depending on if it's in box, out of box, whatever, the rarity of the Labubu. So, pretty big haul, it seems, from the burglars. The burglars were using a stolen Toyota Tacoma that was recovered shortly after the burglary, the sheriff's office said. One Stop Sales posted an in-store security video on Instagram that shows a group of masked men enter the store as the sound of the breaking glass is heard. The men can be seen in the video taking boxes of merchandise from the store. Today we got robbed and they took all of our inventory, trashed our store. We are still in shock. If you guys can share this post, please, and help us find these thieves. One Stop Sales wrote on Instagram. According to the store's website, some of the pricier Labubus are going for $500. A Labubu collection that dropped in the spring was retailing for $27.99, but the retail market for plush collectibles specifically this summer has been hot. It's also worth noting, too, I've talked about this a little bit before when I talked about my Labubu fever, which I still have unquenched. But it is very hard to get a Labubu, especially like a normal, just stock retail Labubu. You have to go to Pop Mart. You have to, be in line when they drop this shit because they do limited drops. I think it's every week, but you got to be there on the day. I mean, there's long lines out the way, at the wazoo. Or you can order it online and be one of the first to get it online. But these drops are very limited. I think in store, maybe each store might get 200 at a time. So that's why the resale value of this just bricks. It just goes so hard. And it makes it really hard to get them. Also, this has made a big market for fakes or lafufus. And I think lafufus are kind of cute. They have their enduring charm. I know I've kind of talked a little bit of shit here and there about a lafufu, but they serve the same purpose. They are cute. And I mean, I think unless they look completely wonky, then who really cares? They're establishing what you want. I personally, though, I want the real thing. I want a real Labubu. At this point, I don't even really care which kind. If it's like the secret cool one, the really rare one, the black one with a little rainbow thing going on, I mean, sure. But also, you just give me any one of them. I just want to put one on my backpack. I don't know, it's cool. But I am a child of the Beanie Baby. I am a child of the Furby, the robot dog, the Tamagotchi. So this is up my alley. So I get why this is a popular thing, a hot item. And it's kind of crazy that of all the things that these guys broke in and stole, these little furry ball little guys, little monsters, are the thing that we're talking about. The big takeaway from the heist, from the robbery there. So, be careful. Guard your Labubus. Anyway, we have one more story that I wanted to cover. So let's go ahead and take it to space and bring it on back down to close it out. But yeah, let's take our last break. I do feel like people in my generation are torn. Either they are completely on board, kind of like I am, and they think it's cute, and they want one, or they at least get it, they find it endearing. Or they're like, this is disgusting, this is stupid. Why are grown women and men, buying these things and, talking about them? This should be a thing you keep in a closet, or you just shouldn't do. And I'm like, I guess I do get both camps. I mean, there have been some trends or whatever that I see that I'm like, it's a little corny, that's whatever. But once again, for me, I get it. I think we all like buying little things, and it's just nice. It just feels good, especially when it's cute. So, yeah. Anyway. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That was nice. Okay. From CBS News, space station astronauts return to Earth after 5-month mission. 2 NASA astronauts, a Japanese flyer, and a Russian cosmonaut plunged back to Earth on Saturday, safely splashing down in the Pacific Ocean, west of San Diego, to wrap up a 5-month mission to space. Strapped into SpaceX's Crew Dragon Endurance, Commander Annie McClain, that's a good name for an astronaut, Annie McLean, pilot Nicole Ayers, Japanese astronaut Takuya Onishi, I like that one too, and cosmonaut Kirill Peskov. Honestly, a crew of hitters of all, like, astronaut names. I don't know why I'm vibing with these, but I'm like, yeah, I could see all of you guys on like a bulletin board or something. I don't know. I'm being weird. Gently splashed down at 11:33 a.m. EDT, 17 and a half hours after undocking from the International Space Station. SpaceX support crews deployed near the landing site quickly converged on the capsule to rig the craft for a lift onto the deck of a recovery ship. After hatch opening, the station flyers were helped out of the spacecraft for initial medical checks while they began readjusting to the unfamiliar pull of gravity after 148 days in space. All four appeared healthy and in good spirits. A helicopter was standing by to fly all four back to shore, where a NASA plane was waiting to fly them back to the Johnson Space Center in Houston. The Crew 10 flyers undocked from the station's forward port at 6:15 p.m. Friday, 2 days later than originally planned due to high winds off the southern California coast. After moving a safe distance away from the lab complex, McLean and company enjoyed a few final hours in space before their ship was lined up for a southwest to northeast trajectory towards San Diego. At 10:39 a.m., the Crew Dragon's forward Draco thrusters, that's fucking cool. I like hitting the Draco thrusters. Ignited and fired for more than 17 minutes to slow the craft by about 257 miles per hour, just enough to drop into orbit into the discernible atmosphere about 43 minutes later. Still moving at some 17,000 miles per hour, nearly 84 football fields per second. That's crazy. The Crew Dragon slammed into the discernible atmosphere and was quickly engulfed in a fireball of atmospheric friction as it sharply decelerated to more terrestrial velocities. Nearing the ocean, the spacecraft's main parachutes unfurled and inflated, lowering Endeavour to a gentle splashdown. Left behind in orbit were the crew's replacements. Crew 11 Commander Zena Cardman, another good name, co-pilot Mike Finke, Japanese astronaut Kamiya Yui, and cosmonaut Oleg Platonov. Also on board, Suez MS-27 73S, Commander Sergei Ryskiov, Alexei Zubrisky, and NASA astronaut Johnny Kim. McLean and her crewmates spent 4 days showing the new crew the ins and outs of the space station operation before bidding them farewell and undocking on Friday. Crew 10 was the first NASA-sponsored crew to land in the Pacific Ocean. All previous NASA Crew Dragon flights ended with splashdowns off of the Florida coast. But SpaceX recently decided to change landing locales to make sure any debris from the Crew Dragon's no longer needed trunk section discarded shortly before re-entry. Splashes harmlessly into the Pacific, well away from any populated areas. 2 commercial Crew Dragon flights landed in the Pacific earlier this year to pave the way for the Crew 10. So, y'all know I love talking fucking shit about Elon Musk and any of his companies. I just fucking do. I can't help myself. It's delicious. But, that being said, I will give credit where it's fucking due. When SpaceX delivers, it's very cool. It's just cool. Like, they're hitting the fucking the Draco thrusters and shit. They're fucking, going back and forth in space. They're making it happen. Granted, it's not without faults or, problems, issues. But I will give credit where it's due. Don't say I don't do that, okay? All right. But yeah, it's nice to close out with some space news, some comebacks from space. So, hell yeah. And, not too bad. We've had more depressing episodes this week alone for sure. So we'll take it. And that'll be it for today. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/AZANews. Become a newsie today. Free ways to hit me up, AZANews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. That's a free action that helps out. Follow on TikTok. Follow on Spotify. Follow on Apple Podcasts. Whatever platform you're listening on. Hit that like button. Leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. all the stars are appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all of that. And even if you don't do any of that, I just appreciate you listening. I think that's pretty cool. But yes, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.